Over on the left, both these teams picking up wins in round number 1. Mono Green Monument on Collins' side. That's going to be the deck we're looking at here. So I talked about kind of the dream start, Ryan. When we were talking about Mox Amber, I wanted to see this. I want to see turn 1 Ovia Pashiri, Mox Amber, Llanowar Elves. And he'll do turn 1 Llanowar Elves. That's it.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all. We'll see if it can survive. And it can. Llanowar Elves on the other side from James Gardin.
Ideal starts for one player, I suppose. Collins could have been a little better.
3 mana on Collins is Steel Leaf Champion. I just got 2 more bingo squares right now. I want you to know.
Yikes.
The 5/4. This is the Woolly Thoktar, but it's all green. And now you've noticed there's a Botanical Sanctum in play. Despite being a mono green deck, Collins has some sideboard blue cards, none in the main. And Jade Light Ranger from James draws him 2 cards. 2 lands. Steel Leaf Champion, so 5/4 for 3. Also has the ability cannot be blocked by small creatures. Not that they would anyway.
Power 2 or less, no blocking. And this Jade Light Ranger found 2 lands, so that's just a little creature.
I think when we talked about this card when it was spoiled, I said that ability line looks neat, but say the Jade Light Ranger could block here. It probably wouldn't, unless he had a sweeper queued up.
I mean, when it draws 2 cards is when it's usually at its best. The decks that have been able to most effectively leverage Jade Light Ranger tend to care about putting cards in their graveyard. We've seen some red-green builds do that.
And I like that swing. Collins offers to trade Llanowar Elves with Jade Light Ranger, and James accepts. He takes 5, goes to 15. Third land is Hashep Oasis for Collins, and he will make Rhonas' Monument. So now we're really in on that, that Steel Leaf Champion.
Yeah, this is going to hit harder. This one has been in Standard for a little while, though it's one that we generally have not seen too much. So it'll make it so Collins' green creatures cost one less mana.
Servant of the Conduit here from James. We actually haven't seen that card in Standard for a while. Maybe some of its friends all got banned. But Rhonas' Monument. Green creatures cost less for Collins, and when he casts a creature spell, one of his creatures gains +2/+2 and trample.
Trampling Steel Leaf Champion is a scary proposition.
Mox Amber. First time I've seen him play for James. He does not have a legend. So it is Mox Paperweight.
It is
at
a
the
mulligan.
moment.
Mox Mulligan.
Jade Light Ranger. Cast for 2 mana from Collins. It will pump Steel Leaf Champion. He's trying to hit a land, but he sees another Jade Light Ranger. See if he's this would be a fine draw. We'll see if he keeps it on top or whether he tries again and bins it.
If the land is just the next card, leaving it on top is very similar to putting it in the graveyard. If it's 2 cards down, that's where you kind of wish you were able to bin 2.
Looks like Collins' hand is a Blossoming Defense and I think another Jade Light Ranger. So if that's the case, I'll just go ahead and keep it on top. Swings for 7, James down to 8. Rhonas' Monument is some pretty big game.
It does not take long to clean up from here.
No, not at all. James will cycle a land. With that Mox Amber, however, Ryan, this does allow him to cast one of those Urza's Ruinous Blasts if he finds
It
one.
only checks legendary creatures and planeswalkers.
Oh, you're right. It's not check legendary artifacts, so no, it cannot do that.
If he could turn it into a creature somehow, which he can't.
No, but it's in caster, right? He can cast it first. It's counted as a legendary.
If he was able to get enough mana, if he cast like a Via Bashiri and then he has exactly a Via Bashiri plus a Blast, he could cast that on this turn. The choking point is kind of the mana.
Well, yeah, here's Urza's.
That's
that's
Lyra.
not. No. Okay. Another card.
Yeah.
Lyra Dawnbringer.
Yeah, Ruinous Blast would have been a game rules violation on this battlefield.
All right. Lyra Dawnbringer, 5/5, flying first strike lifelink. Kind of a Baneslayer Angel style card here. It's got some other text. That means when you have it can't even have 2 of them in play. Other angels get 1/1 on lifelink. It doesn't play other angels. No.
Oh, you mentioned if Collins has Blossoming Defense in hand, if you cast a green creature pre-combat, pluses the Steel Leaf Champion and attacks, this Lyra has to be on blocking duty.
Yep.
This attack is lethal. It's secret lethal, but lethal nonetheless.
I like secret lethal.
Secret lethal is one of the most powerful forms of lethal.
Jade Light Ranger. Well, what he actually can do here is now he has to choose what he wants to target. He'll go with Steel Leaf, I guess, and another Steel Leaf on top. That one doesn't. I don't like that. You can't discount that off Rhonas' Monument. Yeah, that's why we have to bin it. And Llanowar Elves. Don't know if he wants that one either.
It's another pump spell. It's probably worth putting in the graveyard, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, with his deck, I think every card's a pump spell.
Yeah.
Right? His deck is just, well, it's creatures and then Blossoming Defense,
Even
so that's
some
a pump
of the
spell.
some of the lands are pump spells. Hash of Oasis on the battlefield.
Yeah, they're just all pump spells. I think he really wanted one of those two to be his land drop.
Yeah.
He'll bin that pair of 4/3s. That 1/4/3 can't attack, so Steel Leaf Champion swinging for 7. If James doesn't block, Blossoming Defense will kill him. So it is a chump block. James gains 5, goes to 13. Then a trample for 2 will put him back down to 11.
Yep. And kind of looking for exactly Ovia Bashiri Ruinous Blast on this turn. Once you start hitting more land drops, 2 and 3 mana legendary creatures start to be able to do it.
James looks like a grip of 5 lands.
That's not good.
Nope.
It looks like one of them is a cycling land. A Scattered Groves he's been hanging on to for a minute. But he's just going to pick them up.
All right, game 1 to Collins Mullen. Green Monument. Impressive there on Collins' side. We are seeing, you know, this is, I think, a deck that was on everyone's radar when we looked at the spoiler. We saw Llanowar Elves getting reprinted, and we're like, great, that card's great.
Yep.
You see Steel Leaf Champion, it's like, okay, I want to do that on turn 2.
Yeah.
Collins did, and he's up 1-0.
That's kind of the ideal curve there, and he was able to execute here. We'll see if things get tougher post-sideboard, though, in a minute.
All right. We'll be back then. So game 1 going the way of Collins Mullen. Though scores are evened up over on the modern table, Joshua Lindower taking game 1 of the Scape Shift Mirror.
Yep, that one's going to be pretty even, you got to figure.
All right, so let's look at some sideboards. Brian, first on Collins' side, I love how streamlined this is. We see he touches into blue in the sideboard for 4 Spell Pierce, 2 Negate, and 1 Nissa. Does he want them in this matchup?
He has not yet seen an Urza's Ruinous Blast. If he suspects that that's around, Spell Pierce is going to be pretty nice, maybe even Negate. Though mostly, I think I want to prey upon these Llanowar Elves.
Yeah, Prey Upon seems great. When you've seen your opponent go Llanowar Elves into Jade Light Ranger, I don't think he can snap off Spell Pierces.
Right. Yeah. Prey Upon seems to be the big standout, as is Nissa's Steward of Elements and kind of a creature mirror, drawing more creatures and making those flying 5/5s from your lands can be pretty powerful.
I do like 4 Prey Upons. They're excellent in green mirrors. On James's side, 4 copies of Duress, 3 Shalai, Voice of Plenties, 2 Deathgorge Scavenger, 2 Thrashing Brontodon, a Seal Away, a Settle the Wreckage. That would be his 3rd Settle the Wreckage. A 3rd Urza's Ruinous Blast, and then 1 Ajani Unyielding.
Honestly, there's not a lot going on here. Seal Away as an answer to either attacking large creatures or even Llanowar Elves in a pinch is pretty nice. The extra Settle the Wreckage
It's fine.
It's definitely strong in a matchup like this. So, and there's going to be enough battlefields where Collins is only attacking with 1 creature, so it's kind of inefficient.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This mono green deck on Collins' side, it doesn't feel like it turns everything sideways. It turns one thing sideways.
Yep.
Which
But,
I guess a 4-mana removal spell is still fine, but...
It's not like James has really much in the way of options to the
Yeah.
issue. The Urza's Ruinous Blast figures to be pretty good. I don't hate a Johnny Unyielding either.
So what's interesting about this legendary deck, it pulls you in a couple directions because of all the restrictions that a legendary deck has. You know, you want to play Mox Amber, you want to play Urza's Ruinous Blast. He's actually 26 creatures and 11 spells. And I actually only want to count that as 8 spells because I don't really count Mox Amber. That's more, I put that in the lands column.
Yeah.
So this is a 26. This is a creature mirror, despite the fact that James has sweepers.
Right. The sweepers are pretty good if he can execute, but that was kind of the issue in Game 1, is Battlefield did not shape up in a meaningful way. He also drew a lot of lands.
Both players keeping on 7 here for the second game. Collins starting with Greenbelt Rampager. That will net him an energy. It's a card we really haven't seen too much of recently.
Yeah. And in Game 3, you don't have Llanowar Elves. Generally, turn 2 making a 3/4 can be pretty powerful.
And now we see the 1-mana legend in Standard. It's Ovia Pashiri. All the way back from Kaladesh, the 1/2 for 1. It's cast on turn 2 by James. His lands do come and enter the battlefield tapped.
Greenbelt Rampager actually a pretty interesting interaction with Rhonas' Monument. If you don't have any energy, you can just cast it a couple times, go to work.
If you have Monument, does that make you not want to play a turn 1 Rampager?
Sometimes.
Interesting. Okay, land, Mox Amber. Now it's a true Mox, thanks to Ovia.
All right. Now we're doing something.
But he's not spending the 4th mana, so it's not. Here's Jade Light Ranger.
I guess we're not really doing something yet.
Fatal Push, top card for James.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I'll keep it there. Opponent just cast Heart of Quran. Swings for 1. Well, we got to see a Mox Amber tap for mana. We did not see it matter.
Just yet.
Got a 4 in a I got 2 4 in a rows already, Ryan.
Yikes.
I'm going to crush this bingo. We're going to get on the board here. One of them involves Knight of the Reliquary. That's probably happening this match.
I don't expect to see that one, but Legendary Sorcery could certainly be looming.
Urza's Ruinous Blast would win it.
Notably, it so far
it's
is not good
here
in this game.
I don't think James would cast it yet. It's my read.
I'm inclined to agree.
You know, I've lost to Ovia Pashiri a lot in Kaladesh Limited, and it actually looks like it might be pretty good here, just in regular Magic, too.
I lost a game or 2 of Brawl to Ovia Bashiri.
Nice trick here from Collins. Greenbelt Rampager enters the battlefield, crews Heart of Kiran, and then bounces back. Heart of Kiran will attack for 4, or will attempt to, but Fatal Push hits it. And Resilient Kenra. Yes? No. What? Yeah,
No,
that's the other one.
Yep. So he's attempting to crack in for 6 there. Got to see a second copy of Fatal Push from James there. So Collins knows about 1 that James picked up this turn.
Another Jade Light Ranger from James. First puts a Llanowar Elves into the bin. Now we see Urza's Ruinous Blast. Come on, man. You got to cast that. I'm sure it's good on this board. That's not remotely true.
Not so much.
It's my bingo card. Don't put that in the bin.
That is a threatening card, and it's a good one for Collins to know about. Legendary Sorcery, castable only if you have a legendary creature or planeswalker. Ovia Bashiri checks that box.
He's keeping it on top. Good. We're right where it's supposed to be.
Exile all non-land, non-legendary permanents. Currently, for Collins, that would be 1 Resilient Kenra for James. It would be
yeah, it's not great.
2
yet.
Jade Light Rangers, 2 4-powered Jade Light Rangers. And if Collins does not have the Spell Pierces in this game, likely to be looking for those in game 3.
Interesting that James kept it on top. He doesn't actually have land 5, nor does he want to cast it here.
You got to figure in the games that Collins wins from here,
you need
it's going to be a good card.
Yeah, I can see that. Here's Rhonas' Monument from Collins. Has that Greenbelt Rampager in hand, too. He's down to 15. Do you think he's going to try to race back?
That's his only line, right?
Okay. And here's Greenbelt Rampager, and it'll pump Resilient Kenra, no energy, and that will swing.
Yeah, once you sign up to play a mono green deck, you don't really have the option to play the control in the overwhelming majority of your games. You know, the only controlling role you have is blocking or these sideboard prey-upons.
Kenra just a 2-2 here, ways away from it, eternalizing. And then
trades with the Jade Light. Fatal Push takes care of the elephant.
Yeah, and that Fatal Push really hurts for Collins because he has another Greenbelt Rampager in hand. I think he was very much hoping to untap with a creature and then just go nuts.
Yeah.
And now the race is firmly against him. Here's Rishkar from Gardin. That's another legend. That's going to pump Ovia and Jade Light Ranger. Actually, it'll pump itself in Ovia. So 4-3, going to attack. And he's leaving back Ovia, it looks like. Not sure why no attack there.
Yeah, shy on mana to activate.
Right.
It can tap for green currently.
Right.
So he's representing 2 mana here.
Well, except that he has 1 card in hand, and Collins knows what it is. It's Urza's Rhonas Blast.
Yeah. The attack definitely made more sense.
Nonetheless, though, hits Collins down to 11 on that turn. And because Collins didn't untap with a creature that Greenbelt Rampager can pump, he's going to have trouble racing. Collins makes Jade Light Ranger just for 2.
That's a deal.
Else, yeah. Over on the Legacy match, both the Lindower brothers have picked up a win now. Zack taking game 1 over Hunter.
Yeah, while Deathrite Shaman is very good against Dredge, you generally have to have it on turn 1. If you don't know the matchup is Dredge, you can keep a hand that's pretty bad against that one.
It's when they put you on the play that you know they're on Dredge.
I hope this is a mana version. Like, yeah, this is mana Dredge, so not so much. Manaless Dredge is definitely a deck that is categorically cute.
It's so bad. They thought Caesar, and like, ah, dang, you had it. Just like, come on, man. What are you doing?
There was a really good match a few years back. There was actually a feature, Dredge versus Reanimator, where the Reanimator player thought Caesar's the Dredge player and then casts Exhume, and the Golgari Grave Troll that was bin checks itself, and it just goes on the battlefield so he can't dredge it. Yeah,
nothing we could do about that.
You definitely want lands and Lion's Eye Diamonds in your Dredge deck.
Modern ties it up. Becky Adlman takes game 2 with Naya Escape Shift. Resilient Kenra, also cast here from Rhonas' Monument. It can pump its... None of this stuff has haste. They're all getting very big.
Yeah, that is the problem here.
And Galta. Okay, that's why we're pumping everything. It's because we want to make a 2-mana Galta.
All right. And that one is legendary, so currently the Galta and the Rhonas' Monument not impacted by the Urza's Rhonas Blast.
And remember, look, this whole board on Collins, he just made 100,000 power off an empty board. This green deck's great.
Not bad. I'd be a little concerned about Settle the Wreckage.
Okay, fair enough. And
James may or may not have drawn it.
Things were looking really good up to this point, and now James should be concerned.
He has active Avia Pashiri. He can start making XXs.
Right, and that starts with 4/4, so it's going to be good quick. Now, Galt does a lot of damage. There's also Resilient Kenra in the graveyard for Collins.
Yeah. You don't get a discount on eternalizing it.
No, so he still needs 1 more land.
Yeah. I like these mismatched land box basics for Collins. Bet he picked those up on site this morning.
Well, if they're all, actually, I'll go with a style play. If they're all different, he's got 12 in his deck. I like that. I get like 5 of one art and then 7 one-ofs. That's like probably where I'd land.
Not bad. I like to get a spread of like 7th edition.
So in terms of forest, Ryan, biodiversity is actually pretty important for maintaining a successful habitat.
Go on.
Well, your creatures need to live in these forests, and you never know when some sort of invasive species might move into your forest. And if it's all one kind of tree, this could be devastating.
Sure. Invasive species is not standard legal, though. That was Magic 2015.
I'm just saying, Collins has learned the hard lessons of things like Dutch elm disease.
Yeah, he's about to learn another hard lesson.
Settle the wreckage, we'll take care of Galta.
Go get another mismatched forest.
This is just a good sustainable practice. Well, actually, it's the same as the second from the bottom.
Okay. Good eye. Now Collins will have the mana to start eternalizing Earthshaker Kenra.
Right. So that trade, I mean, can't be happy to lose Galta, but there's a consolation prize.
Yep. Though from here, the Rhonas Blast does sweep up Collins, and the cost has been getting lower for James.
Yeah, he has 2. Yeah, it now looks like a very favorable card to cast.
And more favorable all the time.
Yeah, Collins. Well, I'm interested that Collins is committing this. He knows about Urza's Rhonas Blast.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. Another Galta.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I'm there.
I was like, yeah, there's a. So if James, Urza's Rhonas Blast, does he die? So hold on, we eternalize the Kenra.
Yep.
It's a 4/4.
So it pumps for eternalizing does not check for monument.
Oh, it's only on cast. Okay, so it only pumps Galta for 4. So it's only a
16 is not what I would consider to be a small number.
Well, he has 19 life points.
Yeah,
it's probably fine.
Got something to work with. Though he's a bit shy of making a trade in combat.
Thrashing Brontodon for James. Yeah, he did not want to pull the trigger on that Rhonas Blast here as we go back to Collins.
It's like 12 power currently available for James. That's not going to be enough against Galta. It's enough at the base rate, but Collins is going to be attacking for more than that.
This is going to be a huge dinosaur. Is there a punishment here if he just swings for 16? Does he die on the crackback? No, it just seems...
He's at 11. He leaves back all these blockers.
So how much power do we have in play for James? 2 from the Ovia. The Jade Light Ranger makes 6. The Rishkar makes 9. The Bronzon makes 12. Yeah. I'm in.
Yeah.
That's not enough. Galta, you have to use the Kenra.
He'll be able to make a servo with the Via, but he's still shy because of all the blockers that Collins has.
And Galta tramples.
And the thing about it, you have 2 non-legendary attackers, so if even James starts on Rhonas Blast, that just diminishes his attack anyway.
Right. Oh, did he draw a 1-mana spell? Because now he can make it even larger. If that's Llanowar Elves, that's...
Or 1-mana Kenra.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
This might be lethal. Okay, so Kenra's cast for 1. Remember that Collins still has the 6 mana to eternalize the Kenra in his graveyard as well. So, and I like what he's doing here. Kenra, the Rhonas' Monument trigger will target the Kenra already in play. Now we'll see what he wants to target with the Kenra trigger. So we have a 4/4 and a 4/4 trample and a 12/12 trample currently. This is going to get good.
Yeah, he's lining up to make multiple attacks because if you lose the Kenra in combat,
exactly,
you just get to bring it back next turn.
That's why he's picking this Kenra as the second attacker, is because he would really like it to get traded away.
Yep, and if it gets in for 4, whatever, attacking your opponent for 4 is a fine thing to do. And you see the Eternalize, going to have to tap the Llanowar Elves to do that. And that comes back as a 4/4.
Right. And this one will target the Resilient Kenra. And so now they will attack. We'll get a size check here to be sure. So, so Rhonas' Monument. So he had 1 Monument trigger and 2 Kenra triggers.
Yep. It would make sense to put the Monument trigger or the first Kenra on the Galta because currently James has 12 power as blockers.
Yeah,
so
you have to use Monument on the Kenra to give it trample. Otherwise, it won't trample.
Yeah. Getting quad blocked is not the worst thing in the world.
Well, here's an attack. It is... He had 8 points of pump to throw around. So 10, 10, and 12, 12 is close to what's happening here. And we're going to see a huge... Yeah, so it's and we can confirm now from the table, Judge. The Kenra attacking is a 10-10. The bottom one is Galta's a 12-12. So all the creatures in front of Galta appears to be the block. Just those 3 makes less sense.
Yeah, and you want to order these blockers so you kill the Ovia if the Galta is getting traded away in combat, because then you just turn off the Rhonas Blast.
Yeah, and the Rishkar needs to go.
Right.
But yeah, that's what he's doing.
He had the Ovia at the back of the line previously.
Oh, and you're saying, you got to move that one up.
Yeah, that one's got to be up front.
So he's going to deal damage to Rishkar, then Ovia, then Brontodon, then Jade Light. Their toughnesses together are 3, 3, 4, and 3. So the Jade Light will actually survive. And James will take 10 off that Resilient Kenra. He drops to 9, but he's lost his legendary creature, as you mentioned.
Yep.
And so now can't cast Urza's Rhonas Blast in his hand.
And with the mana available, he can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing he can draw that sets up for that. It's possible that he's going to be getting hit for lethal on the following turn. We have a really good spread here of various attackers for Collins.
I would say it's more than possible. I don't think he has a way out.
Yeah, currently, we can put you can absorb 3 damage with the Jade Light Ranger.
Yeah.
And then what do we have? 3, 6, 9, 10. So Llanowar Elves can absorb 2 more, so you can survive at 1.
Yeah, cast Llanowar Elves. Collins knows about the last card. He's not going to respect Settle the Wreckage.
Any creature would do it here.
Jade Light Ranger, sure. 2-2 and trample to something, to that Kenra. And James going to pick up the cards.
Yeah, so 2-0 win for Collins Mullen there. And James Gardin, he has a lot of tools that are good in this matchup, but you saw a lot of difficulty casting the legendary sorcery Urza's Ruinous Blast. And Mox Amber also requires a number of enablers. You saw that one be kind of mopey in game 1. And these decks are really tough to figure out.
Yeah, so first he couldn't cast legendary sorcery, and by the time he could cast it, it wasn't even good.
Yeah.
So I like that he's going for a legendary deck. Not entirely sure.
Yeah, I also wanted to discuss that these difficulties were against a mono-green opponent.
Yeah.
Imagine if your opponent's casting removal spells.
Yeah, so I'm interested in these other cards. So things we didn't see on James's side, Teshar, Ancestor's Apostle, Shauna, Sisei's Legacy. It feels like there's still more to go here. When you're in this doing this shell of Servant of the Conduit, Jade Light Ranger, Rishkar, you could be playing Constrictor, for example. Yep. And I'm not convinced that what he's doing is better than Constrictor right now.
Right. Yeah, the payoffs are a little more obvious. The deck just kind of makes sense. You have a good working shell, whereas this deck actually asks a lot of questions. Immediately, when you're talking about needing an early enabler, it kind of makes sense to want to play 4 copies of like a Viopashiri and 4 copies of Shauna, and those are ones that he's on 3 on. So you might see a direction change in that a little bit, go heavier on those ones and lighter on the 4 and 5 mana ones.
So some updates, all the games finishing there. In Modern, Joshua Lindower wins Game 3. As a lot of times is in these Scapeshift mirrors, you'll see the players trade back and forth wins. The die roll super matters, and it did. Joshua takes the win. So Legacy is going to be where things are decided. We also saw Hunter Nance win Game 2 in Legacy. So Game 3 will be Dredge v. Grixis Delver. So move over to that table.
Look at these fancy cameras.
Yeah, we're going to zoom in on this Legacy match.
Got some new equipment this weekend. Impressive stuff.
Look what technology has brought us.
The future is here from the Infinite Energy Center.
So, Ryan, I do want to talk a bit about this matchup from the Grixis side. So Hunter's sideboard 4 Cabal Therapy, 3 Surgical Extraction. Those 3 Surgicals are really his only graveyard interaction with their cards. Abrade, Kolaghan's Command, Diabolic Edict, Pyroblast, Dark Blast, Grim Lavamancer. I don't like any of those here. Is that enough to consistently get through Dredge?
I mean, you're really heavy on Surgical, which is really good in the matchup.
Okay.
And if you have a hand that has Surgical Deathrite Shaman, the game, you may as well just forget about it from there. Dredge is not doing a lot that actually interacts with Deathrite Shaman, at least this particular build. There's a card from Weatherlight, and the reason I can't think of the name is because it's not on the deck list, where you discard X cards and deal that much damage to creatures and players.
Okay, Devastating Dreams.
No, it's from
No,
Weatherlight.
From Weatherlight.
Like the cost, yeah, anyway. It's a good answer to Deathrite Shaman. It's not available, but we have like Chain of Vapor, Abrupt Decay. This stuff's pretty slow in this matchup. Like a Puma or something. Fire Puma, maybe.
That's probably
It's
it.
probably not the name
How
of the
about Fire?
card.
No. I'm sure everyone at home. All right, he's not playing it though.
Yeah. Firestorm. That sounds right. Though it still might be Fire Puma.
I'll look up Fire Puma. Okay, maybe that's the one. Maybe that's it. That's got to be it. Fire Cat Blitz. That's like Fire Puma. It's many Fire Puma.
That's true. Though that card, I know that card. It's a little different.
Turn 1. All right. Lion's Eye Diamond from Josh. Immediately will lead a Force of Will. It pitches Daze.
That's a good one to force. Easy discard outlet. But it looks like Zack at the ready with more. A Faithless Looting, maybe a Careful Study in hand here, and the land, Gemstone Mine.
And, yeah, there we go, Careful Study. It's like Faithless Looting. I don't know if it's better or worse. It's worse, but it's blue, so I like that. Discards Bridge from Below and Golgari Grave Troll and passes.
Yeah, I like the sequencing on Study before Faithless Looting, because you don't want... Faithless Looting has flashback if some graveyard shenanigans happen here. Maintaining that one can be meaningful.
So you go over to Hunter. This one will decide the round.
You'd love to see a Surgical on that Golgari Grave Troll from Nance. They're pointing at the graveyard. I don't know if it's a I can't beat this or what do I Surgical question. We'll find out pretty shortly, I'm sure.
It's going to Wasteland away the Gemstone Mine and then just passes. What could Zack possibly do with no lands in play? Deal Dredge, Golgari Grave Troll. Here's 6 cards.
How many Narcomoebas?
None.
Yeah, another bridge going to the graveyard there.
Yeah, finds another Dredger and Golgari Thug, but that's about it. Now 2 Bridge from Belows, and now we go over to Hunter. That was really a miss for Zack.
And here we see an aggressive Brainstorm from Hunter.
He's just trying to find a Surgical right away.
Yeah.
If he could Surgical that Thug, that would be great.
Right.
Dredge of Thug from Zack. Hunter did not find a Surgical. 4 more cards. It's a 3rd Bridge from Below.
Still needs to get some creatures to actually take advantage of this.
Well, is he out of Dredgers, Ryan? I don't know if he dredged over another Dredger.
Not ideal. He has picked up some additional cards. Got to be close to 7 in hand by now. So he can start naturally discarding.
Not playing lands.
Well, actually, because of the Careful Study that set him back a bit, and we saw Lion's Eye Diamond Force a Willed, so he might be as low as 5 cards in hand.
Then you're just drawing to hope to hit a land, which is, knowing how my experience with decks is that then he'll draw Narcomoeba next turn. Like, this isn't. You're doing this in the wrong order. Fetch from Hunter Nance. Clears away that Brainstorm. He's still trying to find. Well, I guess he doesn't even need to find Surgical anymore if Zack has just naturally run out of Dredgers.
You do need to actually win the game,
Yes,
though.
so he's looking for pressure now.
Yeah, you need some combination of pressure and disruption. That turn 1 Force of Will was actually very important because Lindower was set up with Faithless Looting. If that resolves, you can cast your looting effect and then use a Lion's Eye Diamond to flashback looting and really start going off.
Grim Lavamancer. It is a threat. Not too great of one. Icarid. eats a card out of the graveyard.
Ooh,
here.
and he has Cabal Therapy. He can make some zombies.
Oh, and actually he did. Sorry, I should say he did Salvage Dredger. That last Thug flipped over a Grave Troll. So here's 6 more, and now 2 Narcomoebas.
So
Yeah.
it's only the best possible.
Yeah, now things are out of control now. This is bad. There's 3 bridges in the graveyard and a Cabal. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Get the zombie tokens ready.
Oh, yeah.
This is...
Not that there's really
We're doing
anything.
it.
There's nothing meaningful to really therapy here, because if Hunter had a way to disrupt you, he would
Yeah.
have already played it.
Yeah, you just want 2/2s.
Yeah.
Already won 2 of the 3 matches. Please sign your slip and get it to a judge.
We're going to take a look here. Sacrifices Narcomoeba for a flashback.
If you choose to continue that 3rd match.
I honestly don't know if there's a terribly meaningful name from this point. Sometimes the Grixis Delver deck will have some kind of sweeper on their sideboard for some matchups, though typically it's Marsh Casualties at this stage in the game because of True Name Nemesis, and Hunter nowhere near kicking that one.
So you're saying we can't Grim Lavamancer down these zombies?
It's a tall order.
Okay.
That zombie number, I expect that to grow over time rather than shrink.
Here we go. There's 3. Therapy resolving. I don't think we can't race from here either.
Grim Lavamancer. All right, you're at 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, Grim Lavamancer just kind of worse than a zombie token at this stage. And Lindower able to make plenty of those.
Oh, well, there's 2 lands and a Young Pyromancer. I'm assuming Zack didn't name Young Pyromancer. No, he went with Deathrite Shaman.
A fine name.
I don't think he missed out on some value, but I don't think that's.
Well, there's no spells to go with the Young Pyromancer, so that one
Yeah.
shouldn't be buying too much time.
If he had missed one more time, Hunter, I think his plan was to have. You could have Grim Lavamancer shoot itself and get rid of the bridges, which is gross, but works.
That still might be the plan. It's not good enough.
Is there another therapy in the graveyard? Is that what's happening?
Oh, well now it's definitely not good enough. Oh no, this is just Icarus
Oh,
sacrificing.
it's just the sacrifice.
Yeah,
All right, so
you
there's
don't-
3 more zombies.
You don't want to make that attack because if the Grim Lavamancer blocks, your bridges are gone.
Yeah. Hunter draws. Polluted Delta, Young Pyromancer. His hand is 2 lands. Gonna pass.
It has been
Oh boy.
a while since I've played against Dredge, and this is definitely my first time covering it. But
Wow. Okay.
Grixis Delver not presenting what it needs. This deck has been largely pushed out of the format, and Grixis Delver, the popularity of Deathrite Shaman is one of the reasons. But as you can see, the deck can still win games.
Icarid comes back again. Stinkweed Imp's Dredge for 5. Some more Narcomoebas, maybe Cabal Therapies, maybe who cares. Nothing really in the yard that matters. A Thug, a Stinkweed Imp, and a Faithless Looting were all placed in. But he has 13 power in play, so that'll be good. If he attacks now, he'll offer a trade, which means he'll lose his bridge from belows, but that might be okay at this point.
Yeah, he has plenty of zombies. You don't really want to throw him away willy-nilly.
Well, he's in an interesting spot where he has no land. He has no mana, and if he continues to dredge every turn, he will never get any mana. So at that point, his deck is really just trying to win using Icarids and Narcomoebas
Yep.
and bridge zombies, which may be enough. Probably is.
And if you're used to watching modern Dredge, this is not a Bloodghast build. There's nothing like Bloodghast
Right.
plus deck more salvage. Really just making zombies and Icarids. And
Or prized amalgams.
the Dread Return package is in the sideboard. That was something that was commonly main decked.
Yeah,
Like
you'd have a
Dredge is kinda at its
Flamekin
height.
Zealot or something.
Right. This deck is just kind of trying to play a value strategy, and with a lot of 4-color control, Grixis Delver, the strategy is going to be good enough in a lot of spots. You're going to have a rough go with the Terminus decks. That's just kind of true. They have access to Rest in Peace too, but
Swing for 16 from Zack. Now Icarid's gonna die end step. getting 3 more zombies. I just don't see Hunter working his way through this.
No, he's extremely far behind. And as for cards in the sideboard, there's just nothing that comes close to making up this kind of ground in the battlefield.
No, and it's why we saw him really early on try to, like that main phase brainstorm to try to hit surgical. It was the right strategy for Hunter.
Yep.
Because I think he knew once things got to this point, he wasn't going to be able to recover.
The best thing you can do is just draw a lot of cantrips in succession, make a ton of elemental tokens, but there's so much ground to make up from here.
Yeah, I mean, you could maybe, if it was 1 bridge from below, that might work, but 3 and 3 more zombies on the way, that's too much.
Yeah, that's a very tall order.
Correction here, Hunter at 17 currently. So blocks, he shoots down a zombie, he's going to trade with a zombie, he's going to take, we'll get a final count here. It's a lot. It looks like 10, perhaps 12.
Yeah, I think it's closer to 12.
Yep, look, it is. You're right, absolutely right. Icar dies, 3 more zombies. Hunter down to 5, draws, and that should just about do it.
Yeah, attack pretty lethal in the following turn. Looks like Nance picked up a Force of Will. That one's not going to do anything here. And yeah, Icarid making a return once again.
Yeah, no zombies on end of turn. The bridges were gone during combat.
Yep.
But still enough power.
The attack still quite lethal. Just
Another
the zombies already
Narcomoeba
were
milled
fine.
over there.
Sure. You could forget that trigger and be fine. I think the game is over this turn.
It looks like it. Hunter can, nope, his name block and shoot will still take 6.
Yeah. Block, shoot,
7, yeah.
Block, shoot, 1 removal spell is not even good enough.
And there we go, extends the hand. So both Lindowers pick up a win, one in Legacy, one in Modern. And on the back of that, it is a team of Zack Lindower, Joshua Lindower, and James Gardin moving to 2-0. Congratulations.